Larry and I were young together. I was younger. He had a lot of life wisdom, which I did not. He was always a good friend and eager to teach me. We met as students at Grant Mac in 1978. We practiced and played all day, every day, with our other cohort, Lynn's Kenyon. We had no jobs, we had no women, although it was mostly what we talked about. They would arrive eventually, Lynn's with Deb, Larry with Katrina, and myself with Teresa. We listened to Bob Dylan and the Dire Straits, and Bob Dylan and Steve Forbert, and Bob Dylan and Richard Thompson, and Bob Dylan and Linda Ronstadt and Bob Dylan. Later, Larry told me once, the song is like a baby. When it's time to be born, you can't stop it. He was dedicated to his craft and would pass up social events when the muse had him. I was with him when I met my wife. He had to kick me in the ass and tell me what a good woman she was and to be grateful for her loving ways. 36 years and 3 children later proves he was right. We did every gig we could. I remember playing at the White Court Hotel one frigid January weekend. We rented a van to get us there, and I remember arriving at the motel after the gig and an icy parking lot. Larry slid the van into a post and damaged the fender. There went the damage deposit and the earnings for the weekend. The same gig, I walked into the toilet in the bar and overheard Lynn's telling Larry, "Thank God we have Jay, these country folk hate us." A friend told me once he always knew it was us busking on the street corner, as there would be a big crowd and a violin bow popping up above the heads. And we saw that in the video, actually. Our last gig would be in Canmore at the Canmore Hotel. It was just a small mountain town back then in the 79, I suppose. It was where Lines on the Mirror would come from. As I've been listening to the music he left us with, I realized how talented he was, how he was before his time, especially with his environmental messages. His songs are not ordinary. They were irregular but very constant, like every note was where he wanted it. Last Call for Alcohol has 2 bars of 5/4, then 2 bars of 4/4. To me, songwriting becomes art when it touches your soul. He taught me that. Quote, "You write what you're feeling, and that's what other people are feeling too." He understood that and implemented it. Godspeed, my friend.